So we have another update here. It has been over 24 hours. Right, come on over and take a point. There's a bacterial bloom, and I didn't show for those of you on a forum that we actually chlorinated. Well, we used tap water to clean out the 40 gallon. So there's a bacterial bloom that's going on, and that robs oxygen. So that's something to keep in mind. But the purpose here is peroxide. A lot of people are very, very afraid of peroxide. This one has been open. This one was from last year when I was dosing dinoflagellates, and I have no way of proving this, but in my experience, hydrogen peroxide can get what I would call like flat, like a soda. So if you were to open a can of Coke or Sprite, you would get some suds, or when you popped it, you would hear that shh. But if you leave it open, it gets flat. And no, I mean, after 3 months of shaking something that was out like that, you're not going to get any suds or anything of that matter. So I purchased a new one. It's sealed, because hydrogen peroxide, in my experience, at least from what I've observed, I have no scientific evidence of it, I have no microscope, anything like that. It gets flat when it's exposed to the air. And when I was treating dinoflagellates, I noticed that the first time that when I started shooting in hydrogen peroxide, it started getting less and less useful for dinoflagellates. And it was because there was an exchange with air. So this thing is only $1, right? This may be useful, but I'm not going to chance it. So what I'm going to do here is we've got 5 gallons of old tank water, right? One of the things is that this water actually has copper sulfate in it. And one thing that you want to do before you do anything is to realize how it will react to anything, especially hydrogen peroxide. Eventually it'll go back to copper sulfate. There's a lot of chemistry behind it, but I just opened this bottle of hydrogen peroxide. It's $1, right? And if you're that hard up for $1 worth of hydrogen peroxide, it is what it is. Now, I've treated dinoflagellates, and I have gone, this is 5 milliliters, and this is 5 gallons. That is how much I have done. However, it was in there till the end of its lifetime. What I'm going to do is do twice the dosage. No scientific anything, except for the fact of my experience. I have gone over and dosed 1 milliliter per 1 gallon, and all fish survived. So I'm going to do double the dose and watch, with the understanding that after an hour they got to be removed. So here it is. I'm going over and I'm mixing it. It's 5 gallons, and I put 10 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide. What we're going to do is we're going to leave them here for an hour. Now, I'm not going to have you hold that thing for an hour.
I know that.
But what time is it, baby?
4:20. Oh, in here, 4:20. I don't have my.
You don't have the clock?
No.
Let me look real quick.
My phone's in the living room.
It's 8:12 p.m. Eastern Standard.
8:12? Okay.
p.m. Eastern Standard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep an eye on these guys. And this water, if you had looked at the previous video, there was a bacterial bloom. And this is the last of it. And of course, when you get to the bottom, you're going to have more of that stuff. So most of it is gone. Well, what was it down to? A third of the tank? Is that what you think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, as long as I keep with the water changes, I should be fine. But this is what I got. There's a lot of bacteria in there. The half-life, I have no idea about the half-life here. So some things to understand. One, there's a lot of bacteria in here. I mean, there's a bacterial bloom, obviously. So I don't know if that's going to impact it. The light, obviously no sun is shining on it to kill or degrade the hydrogen peroxide. And I don't plan on doing anything else. Now this is the salt water that was treated in the tank, and I just want them to just kind of chill out in there. The copper is still in there. I just introduced hydrogen peroxide, and just to prove a point that I'm very confident that they'll be fine. And I guess what, in an hour we'll look at them. Okay.